together's the key. A mighty nation are we. Mighty nation are we. Stronger collectively. Working together is the key. A mighty nation are we.
Good morning. Hey, I want to thank everyone for coming down here to Orlando. We are really excited to have you. This is going to be a phenomenal event. We figured we'd kind of kickstart you with some laughs in the morning. Wayne, was he funny or what? He's the only comedian. Now, I've seen him before, and I can tell you, I've never laughed so hard in my entire life. My sides were hurting. I mean, I was cramping, right? I was like, I couldn't, you can't get rid of a side cramp. There's no way to get rid of that, right? You can't do anything. But the guy is as funny as possible. I mean, he does Seinfeld. Basically, it's Seinfeld to technology. So I figured all of us, we're a little, let's admit it, we're a little geeky, okay? And he's funny to us. So, you know, we talk about the IT nation, and I guess let's go ahead and cut over here so I can start talking about the IT nation, audiovisual people. Remember, we rehearsed this morning. I am not supposed to be on the screen right now. We'll give him a little second here. Okay. Okay. There we go. So, you know, I didn't do the audiovisual myself this year. We outsourced it because I have to be in Panama City to do an Ironman on Saturday. So I said, I'm going to be on time this time. I'm going to have everything ready. I'm not going to stay up all night and do my presentation. The outsourced company gave me the stuff at 12 midnight. Okay. All right. So, you know, we talk about the IT nation, and that's the theme for this whole event. And I guess I want you to try to get your heads wrapped around what we mean when we say the IT nation. We don't mean ConnectWise. We don't mean us at all. We mean you. We mean us. We mean you. You know, I guess it really comes down to the fact that we have always been defined by everyone else. I mean, they call us VARs. Who likes that? It's VAR, value-added reseller. It seems like we're always defined by manufacturers. We're always defined by distributors. What do manufacturers call us? Well, they call us resellers. What do distributors call us? They call us VARs. Well, how about we come up with a name for ourselves? And that's what we're really doing with IT Nation. So, IT Nation, I want you to look around the room. I want you to realize that there's 1,200 people here. There's almost 900 partners here. And if we didn't have any restrictions from the fire marshal, we would have probably another 500 people in this room, but they would have shut the place down. So we couldn't do that. But you are the IT nation. We collectively are the IT nation. And the reality is that, you know, there's 48 million small businesses in just the United States. Who's here from it? We've got any Australians here? I know we got Australians. Aussies, there you go. Just stick with them if you want to go drinking tonight. They're the party animals, trust me. Just in the United States, 48 million small businesses. And the reality is we, the IT nation, collectively own the last mile. It was interesting. We went out to Silicon Valley to visit with Google. I don't know, is anyone watching Channel 15 here at the, anyone, raise your hand, watching Channel 15 here at the, we have ConnectWise TV running 24/7 on channel 15. So if you tune into channel 15, you'll see it. And what's been playing yesterday and will play till about noon today is interviews that we did with SATA Systems, ConnectWise partner, who focuses on Google Apps. So we did this interview. We put it out on YouTube. Some folks at Google saw it. They said, we want to talk to these guys, these ConnectWise guys. So they actually summoned, I felt like we were being summoned out to Silicon Valley to talk to Google. And that's kind of like, you know, invitation from the Pope. You got to go. So we went, and it was really interesting because we started talking with them about this concept of the last mile. And the reality is that, you know, we own that last mile. I mean, manufacturers can create products, distributors can resell the products to us, but at the end of the day, we're the ones that own that last mile. Today, we own the last mile. What about next year? Do we own the last mile? You know, I'm parodying the whole concept of the last mile from, you know, the telecom industry. I mean, they manufacture the products, they distribute the products, but we own that last mile. So the reality is, we are the IT nation. We go to those vendors. We decide what we're going to put in our shopping basket, right? We turn around on that last mile leg, and we implement the technology in all of those companies. That's what we do. It's pretty much all we do. We own that last mile. They need us to get to those 48 million small to mid-sized businesses. They don't need us to get to enterprise. You can see in our graphic here, vendors are right next to enterprise. They don't need us for that. The only way they can get to the 48 million small businesses is if they go through us today. All right? Now, technology is changing that rapidly. Managed services lets you do everything from afar, right? Everything's moving into the cloud. Okay? Your entire client's infrastructure slowly is going to move into the cloud, like it or not. Okay? My point to you is that right now we own the relationship to 80% of the gross national product of the United States, and I would say that holds true across the globe. 80% of the gross national product of every country is comprised of the small to mid-sized businesses, which right now we own that last mile. But there's things that are coming up, there's technology changes, that if you don't focus your business on how the world is changing and start to modify how you're approaching the market so that you still are in the middle of the mix, life could drastically change for us as the IT nation. And so what we're really doing with the concept of the IT nation is we're saying we have to capitalize. This is kind of an interesting moment in time where we have to capitalize on our position in the channel. We have to define ourselves, and we have to unite. Okay? I know you're all independently owned, entrepreneurial-driven companies. The whole concept of ConnectWise, our whole vision, is about being an unfranchised for you. I mean, you look around the room, and we've proven this over and over again at user groups. You're not competing with each other. You're getting ready to compete with a lot of very large companies that are going to be taking things into the cloud. They're going to basically be bypassing you, okay? Think about the technology or the telecom industry. The last mile is owned by whoever the local phone company is because they have the copper in the ground. It's the only reason they own it, okay? You own that last mile to small to mid-sized business. You own that last mile. Translate that to you own the last mile to 80% of the business around the globe right today, okay? So just like in the telecom industry, everyone's saying, how do I get past that last mile? How do I get past that last mile? It's wireless, right? It's all wireless. It's cellular. It's how do you not need that copper in the ground? You got to believe that there's a lot of large companies that are thinking, gee, how do I not need that VAR? How do I get past them? I'm not saying this to scare you. That's not my intent. I'm saying this to say this is the reality of where things are going. And I'm telling you that as much as it might be a little alarming, it is where we're going, and as much as it might be something that you're like, I really wish he wasn't up there talking about this stuff. It's my job, all right? I have to talk about this. I have to tell you, okay? And I have to also tell you that everything that we're doing at ConnectWise is designed to put you in a power position as the marketplace changes, okay? We really look at ourselves as the operating system of IT. And the whole idea is, and we're going to go through some ideas here, the whole idea here is how do we put you in the leadership position in the catbird seat? You are that trusted IT advisor today, and I think you always will be if you make the right decisions with your business. The concern that I have is that a lot of us just sort of, it's lifestyle business. It's like we're already working too hard. We don't like changing. The industry changes all the time. It's just kind of like, ugh, mentally challenging for us to constantly try and stay up with that. So let's talk about what we're doing at ConnectWise to try and make sure that you guys are in a real connected position, okay? Our mission in life, and the reason that we do the Partner Summit, the reason we even wrote the software in the beginning, is simply to connect the IT nation. That's it. I mean, my whole vision, you know, going through the MBA program, I taught the entrepreneurship class at the University of South Florida. So I am a Gator, but I got my MBA at USF. Any Bull fans out there? USF Bull fans? All right. Not enough. All right. Any Phillies fans out there? Guys, you guys gave it a good shot, okay? And now you know how it felt to be a Tampa Bay Ray fan last year. Okay? The funniest part about watching the Yankees win last night is I think their payroll is like about $50 million more annually than any other baseball team, and they got up there and they said, you know what's so cool about this Yankees team? You know what makes us different? It was a selfless effort. Selfless? A-Rod, you're saying it's selfless? You get paid $300 million. I don't think that's selfless. I did that for you Phillies fans. I had to make you feel a little bit better. All right. All right, so let's talk about connecting the IT nation, okay? I mean, what we've done, and we've set up user groups around the globe for you guys now, okay? This is a way that you can start to connect with each other. Coming to the Partner Summit is a great way to connect, but going to the user groups is an awesome way to connect. We are getting anywhere from a low of 50 to, I think, a high of 120 partners at these regional events that happen 4 times a year, okay? And I'm just going to go through them because each one of them is the Northwest Users Group. So any folks from the Northwest? And we actually, okay, so a representative from the Northwest, I have a salmon for you to take back to your user group. Someone come up, take your salmon. All right, you take that back to the users group and you tell them, Arnie said we got to connect the IT nation. And here's a salmon. I don't know what the two have to do with each other, but I had to do this. Aftershock. Okay, Aftershock is down in the LA area. Hence Aftershock. I need a representative from Aftershock to take this back to your user group in case there is the fault shift. Come on. Someone from LA. Just someone come. Good. All right, LA, you take that back to them and you said we got to connect the IT nation, okay? These are fun events. We pay for dinner. There are no user fees. Just come to it. We have them 4 times a year, every 3 months, every quarter. These are awesome events, okay? Locked and Loaded, that's in Dallas, Texas. That is the South Central Users Group. We are officially deputizing you. Here's your badge. You go back to that users group and you tell them we got to connect the IT nation. We've got, hang on. I love the Chicago Users Group, Central Mafia. Now, all the users groups came up with their own name, right? So we said, what do you want to call yourself? And they all voted on their name. So someone from the Chicago group come up here. We got a Tommy gun for you. And you tell them to connect the IT nation or else. And remember, I am Italian. That's an awesome users group. They're the only ones that can challenge the Australians for drinking. I made a mistake when I traveled. I went to all 10 users groups this past year, to kind of kick this thing off. And I started challenging. I said, you know what, I want to find out who can drink the most. Right? So I started counting up the bar tab, right? And I made a big mistake in Australia. I challenged the Australians. They take their drinking very seriously down there. But Chicago beat you out, actually. That was the amazing thing. So those boys can drink. Boys and girls can drink. All right, so Central Mafia. Down in Atlanta, we have the Southeast Users Group. And so that's Southern Comfort, so I got you all a bottle of Southern Comfort. You drink that and tell them we got to connect the IT nation. So there you go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, audiovisual, let's see how good you really are. It's interesting enough, that was not a Microsoft product. Did you see that? Flash! I'm sitting back here with all the keynote speakers, and what are we, mostly Windows people, right? All these guys are sitting back there with Macs. Like, what's this all about? Yeah, I know you're clapping. That's okay. I can do this. There you go. Da, 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 da. I'll click. Thank you. That was good. Question is, will it break in the same spot? I did mention I got this at midnight. Okay. Locked and loaded. Central Mafia. That still cracks me up every time I see it. Southern Comfort. All right. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. All right. Up in the Northeast, up in Providence, we have the Northeast Users Group. Awesome group, man. They get about 100 people there, and we have a lobster for you. This is your mascot, so don't lose it. Okay. And up in Toronto, we have the Canadian user groups, which I love their name. They call themselves the ConnectWisers, right? The sad part is that we initially, they said they wanted an angry beaver for a logo. It was hilarious. And then they got really freaked out. It's like, we don't want an angry beaver. That's just degrading to Canadians, and we're already sick of South Park, so. And I watch South Park all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, we kind of beat on you guys. All right, you know what? We'll change the logo for you. So there's hockey, the birthplace of hockey. So what do we have? Oh, we have a hockey puck for you. Come get your hockey puck. Here, I'll give it to you Gretzky style to the wife. There you go, in the forehead. All right. Hey, I like Wayne Gretzky. I just got a little carried away there. Okay, up in London, bloomin' old, we have and these guys, clever name, 5 hours ahead. Come, you come. Who's from that group here? Could someone come up? Come on up. We still feel bad about dumping all that tea in Boston Harbor, so we're going to give some of it back to you. I know, it's Lipton. I know you want, early Earl Grey or whatever fancy names you guys have. We don't have that stuff here. Okay. We also have a group in Australia that alternates between Sydney and Melbourne. And these guys, they brought it with their name, LAN Down Under. Okay? So someone from the Australian group, come on up here. Since you guys got beat by Chicago, we got you boys and girls, a bottle of Jack Daniels. We're going to teach you how to drink like the folks here. But anyway, really. So the user groups are awesome. Get to the users groups. This is the way that we're going to try and create a smaller families for you guys to connect together, okay? So take advantage of that. The next thing I wanted to kind of cover with you is, what we've been doing in the ConnectWise global infrastructure, okay? So we're actually investing lots and lots and lots of money to build a cloud all across the world, okay? And the idea is everything that we do is for you, okay? So we're a little unique that way. Realize that the way we look at ourselves is we are building a global infrastructure. We are putting you together. We are connecting you with users groups. You know, we do massive sponsoring of HTG groups. Any HTG folks here? The green shirts? I mean, the idea is if, you know, user groups is kind of less formal. It's people in your area. If you're a little uncomfortable with that, which you shouldn't be, because I've gone to every user group. They don't compete with each other. I mean, every time I'll get 80 people in a room, I'll say, have you ever run into each other? It's like, yeah, I've run into so-and-so or so-and-so, but we've never really lost business to each other. The opportunity to connect is much greater than the competition. The thing that will keep us from being the IT nation is the fact that we're afraid to let our best ideas out, okay? That will kill you, okay? That will keep you divided, and divided you will fall. United you will dominate, okay? So I'm trying to beat that into everyone's head, all right? You think you're competing with the person down the street from you? You're really not. There's plenty of business. You know what? You can't get 40, I did the math, 48 million small businesses. For every ConnectWise partner that we have, you would have to have 18,000 clients. Okay? All right? So the math says you're not really competing with each other. You're competing against the people that you're not getting to, okay, and other companies. So on global infrastructure, you know, we have invested a lot of money in what we call our North American cloud, which is our hosted services, and we're going to be expanding that with other services for you, okay? But the idea is we made a big investment there. Now, I will admit that we had a partial outage of our cloud. Sorry to any of the partners that were out there. We had about 198 partners that were down for 24 hours. I do have a reason. We actually had you on our legacy platform. We were moving, I think you guys are moving over into our virtualized cloud, which is the new architecture and the big investment that we've made. So sorry we didn't get that done soon enough, but we are making that happen very quickly, okay? Very redundant, built on VMware, massive redundancy, and a large investment. We also now have European cloud, right? A lot of rules over in Europe that says you can't take your data off of that continent. Okay? You can't really, if you think about it, it's like if you're in England and you do any business, or in the UK, you do any business with any financial institution and have any information about that financial institution in ConnectWise or in your PSA solution, it has to stay on the European continent. So there's a lot of laws that are coming out along those lines, so we've opened up a European cloud as well, all right? We also have, I think in a week we open up in Australia, and so we'll actually have an Australian cloud, and all of these are based on those continents, okay? So we're going to be expanding that, to be moving across and opening up clouds literally on every continent, all right? So if you look at this, just take a look at this and realize that putting ConnectWise in that cloud is our first step, right? Exchange will be up there for you as well. And really what we're hoping to do is to basically start building a cloud infrastructure that you can leverage as well, all right? If the world's moving into the cloud, then we collectively have to create a cloud. All right, now I know there's a lot of companies out there that have invested in your own data centers. That's very good. That's very cool. There's a lot of us who are not doing that. And so that's where ConnectWise is making some serious investments to see if that's something that you are interested in sort of throwing in and having a communal cloud, if you will, okay, for those of us that can't afford our own data centers, all right? So that's where we're putting a lot of money right now. So look at that. You could be a 3-person company, a 10-person company, a 15-person company. And you could say, hey, look, I'm going to eventually be able to have a global infrastructure that I get to leverage that ConnectWise is building for me. ConnectWise Network. Anyone, who's on the ConnectWise Network? Kind of sucks right now. I mean, it's a version 1.0. The version 2.0 is out. I don't know if it's out. Is it out yet? It's out. Okay, so our version 2.0 is out. We listened to everything you had to say. What is the ConnectWise Network? That is literally every single service ticket that you have in your system. You can click if you're part of the network, which is free, and you can send that ticket to any other partner anywhere in the world. And it will synchronize that time, entries on there, the updates to the detailed description. That ticket synchronizes from their board to your board. So, think about it this way. If I want someone to do maybe web development, because I don't do web development, or a website for my client because I don't have a web team, you go into the partner locator, which is a click away now. We've reduced the clicks. One click from a ticket to a partner locator that helps you find someone that can work this ticket for you. You can start saying yes to a lot of the business that you say no to. Because the reality is in this room alone and in the ConnectWise community, we handle absolutely everything. There's nothing that we don't handle in that community. And I guess I better get going. They're telling me I got to go. So the reality is if you think about it, there's opportunities that you're getting right now inside of your business that you're saying, well, we don't do that. We don't do SharePoint. We don't do web development. The reality is, or we can't do that because it's too big. The reality is there's no opportunity that's too big or bigger than you are now. Because this is your company now. If you think about it, if you're using the ConnectWise network, this is your company. And we are 100% committed to whatever the network doesn't do for you today, tell us. We'll make it do it. This is the hope of our future. We have to get this right. You have to get this right. We have to get this right for you. Because together we can really dominate this space. Okay. So we talked about the network. We talked about a global infrastructure. We talked about being able to connect you together. And I know what you guys are saying. It's like, oh, I just want to hear about the enhancements. I'm getting to that. Don't worry. You got to listen to the big picture stuff first. So I want to talk just a little bit about, Chris Anderson is going to be speaking right after me, and he is the author of The Long Tail and the book Free. Fabulous, fascinating books. In fact, you will be getting a copy of Chris Anderson's book, The Long Tail, tonight in your room drop. You will all get a signed copy. Chris signed every copy, okay? So you will get that. And I'm going to give you my version of The Long Tail for our industry here, okay? If you look at it, it's like you're looking at this going, what the, huh? It's like, yeah, I understand. I'm going to explain it to you. So let's explain the long tail. This is how I see it. You are the long tail. Let me say this. You are the long tail. Okay? And I'm going to show you, because you are the long tail of IT, this is how you are going to capture the industry and keep the industry forever if we can work together. Okay? So if you look at this, you've got 48 million clients, on that vertical axis. Total population. I'm just talking about the small to mid-sized businesses just in the United States, just for purposes of this example. Okay? 48 million. Okay? There's 1 million IT solutions out there, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to rank them in order of popularity, okay? So most popular thing to least popular. So if you look at it, it's like, well, how many companies have workstations? Not networks, not servers, just workstations. Well, probably most of them, right? So I'd say, yeah, that's something that most small to mid-sized businesses buy. Just hang with me here. So how many have servers? Well, probably a ton of them have servers, right? I don't know, maybe about 24 million, right? So on that graph we're saying, I don't know, maybe 24 million of those companies have servers, okay? How many of those companies do, let's just say, managed services? I don't know, but my guess is somewhere around 16, 18 million of those companies are under managed services, okay? Getting more popular every day, not as popular as, things like workstations and servers. But hang with me here. How many of them do IP telephony? I'm just throwing different types of solutions. These are all the array of IT solutions. If you look at it, you're thinking, well, I do IP telephony. I do whatever, okay? And I'm going to kind of get through this thing with you and show you what we're talking about. But IP telephony, I don't know. I'd say small to mid-sized businesses, I don't know, maybe about 12 million of those companies out of 48 million. Maybe 1 out of 4 have IP telephony today. How many of them need it? Well, probably all of them. Okay? What about IP surveillance, right? Video cameras. Have you thought about that? IT devices are proliferating everywhere. It's like, why wouldn't we be doing that? That's all digital. That's all data now, okay? Very few of those companies are doing IP surveillance or video, but it's so inexpensive, I don't see why every small to mid-sized business wouldn't have IP surveillance today, okay? Video cameras. right? Security. Hardware as a service. We've heard about it for a long time, but I mean, how many companies actually have hardware as a service? And I want to tell you that there's a company here at the vendor hall, Chartech, ConnectWise partner out of Bakersfield, California. They do hardware as a service. They will let you do hardware as a service through them, and you can make a lot of money and a lot of markup by using them hardware as a service, okay? We have partners here that do IP surveillance. We have partners that do IP telephony. You may not do those. If you use the network, guess what? Every one of these things you will now be able to do. I'll throw out another one out there just as a bizarre example. You know, how many companies, small to mid-sized businesses, are doing call accounting out there, okay? Call reporting. You know, everyone has phone systems. How many people are really getting good information from their call reporting? If you don't have that, guess what? There's a ConnectWise partner that has that. They are here in the vendor hall as well, called Data. Go talk to them. Awesome stuff. They're hooking it up to ConnectWise, the call reporting information. They'll work on a ShoreTel system. You name the system. Their call reporting system can sit on top of those phone systems and put out very, very good reports. We've installed it. ConnectWise is a great product, very affordable. You know, but these are just examples. If you think about it, you know, as things become more popular, this orange area, we call that the blockbuster area, okay? So as more and more products become popular and you've got lots and lots of small businesses buying it, it moves into this blockbuster realm. This is what the long tail is all about. When things move into the blockbuster realm, there's so much volume that it becomes something that manufacturers and vendors really focus on, and they dominate that space, and it becomes a commodity. You could almost take the word blockbuster and just change the word to commoditization, okay? The blue, does that make sense? Okay, the blue area, okay? The blue area would be more specialization. In other words, that's what we do. We pioneer the new technology, and we put it out there, and we incubate it, and we make it work, and we have the arrows in our back to prove it. And what happens is this stuff slowly gets popular and moves over here to the blockbuster realm. It just starts moving over, okay? Ooh, I'm going the wrong way. That way. Okay? So it moves into the blockbuster realm. So things become more popular, starts moving out into the blockbuster realm. Gets into a spot where, ooh, that's so popular. Thank you very much for pioneering it. Thank you very much for the arrows in the back. Thank you very much. And we let you have nice margins while you were pioneering it for us and innovating and getting us to our version 2, 3, and 4. And thank you very much. And now it's moving out here, and we're going to start selling it really cheap to CDW and put it out on distribution, and you're not going to make as many margins, and as soon as we can, we're not going to really use you as the last mile. This is where it fits some of the last mile. We don't need you. Thanks, we don't need you anymore, okay? The beauty of our industry is everything has to start out in the specialization area, and it then moves into a popular commoditized area or the blockbuster area. That's the beauty of it. It's not like we only have one chance. These are like waves that you get to catch, okay? So it's like a wave of innovation that we perfect until we don't get to make money off of it anymore. Anyone familiar with that phenomenon? Okay? Sure, I'm preaching to the choir here. Well, guess what? There's a lot of innovations that are happening now that, I mean, just take hardware as a service. If everybody used Chartech, guess what? That's your Dell. You wouldn't even have to worry about hardware anymore. Everything would be a service. You just add it as a monthly revenue billing to your clients for the hardware as well. So you do your managed services and you add the hardware on there. Okay? You can sell call accounting. Okay? All of these things can become popular. They can move in this direction as we collectively perfect those, if you will. And then we own them when they become very popular. I mean, if we're figuring it out for everybody, why shouldn't we own it? You think that's too big of an idea? I know it's not. I know we can do that collectively. Okay? That's the long tail. You are the specialization region. You are that blue region. You are the incubators. You're the ones that take these little waves and make them into big waves, move them into commoditization. We are serving the vendors and the manufacturers and distributors as a tool to get it right and to move it into a place where we are no longer needed. That's, you know what, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just economy, okay? It's the way it works, okay? But what I'm saying is, we are the trusted IT advisor. We actually have the opportunity to influence this. That's what the long tail is really about. You are the long tail of IT. And if you use the ConnectWise network, even if you don't have any of those specializations in the specialization area, you now do. You are now the most diverse company if you use the network. You are now the largest service footprint for IT in the world. Way bigger than Dell. If you work together, if you actually see yourself as the IT nation, okay? Okay. So let's talk about what ConnectWise is doing to make that happen for you, okay? One of the cool things, now we're going to get to the stuff that you want, right? The enhancements, okay, here we go. So on ConnectWise University, 2010 version of ConnectWise, how do we make this happen for you? Well, what we figured out by working with HTG and True Profits groups and peer groups and our user groups is we figured out that, wow, y'all are the ones with all the awesome ideas, but we got to make it easier for you to share those awesome ideas. So if you think about the ConnectWise system, where's all the real smarts in that system? We've got the processes in place for you, but the real smarts in that system is going to be with the kinds of agreements that you have, the kinds of configuration types that you have. Some people do an awesome job laying out a configuration, okay? Alan McDonald, where's Alan? You here? Raise your hand. You're here somewhere. There you are. You are Mr. Configuration. My God, this guy's got like configurations. I'm going to put peer pressure on him. We are going to make it so that if you wanted to, and now it's going to be hard not to, you can actually hit a button and share those awesome configurations that you've come up with the whole ConnectWise community. Ooh, scary. Oh, you'll do that? You'll do that. All right. So on the nice. I will hear about this afterwards. But that's good. It's about building the community. So yeah, I'm calling you out on purpose. But I mean, this guy's got like the most awesome configurations. Like, and I kept thinking, oh God, how do I can't do it. There's no way to do it. Well, in 2010, everything is shareable. Everything that's important. So configuration types. If you've got an awesome configuration type, and let's say you're in the HTG group, and you go, oh, I want to share this, man. Like Rich. Is it Rich Anderson? Where are you? You here? Mr. Tracks. Stand up. This guy's got like the most awesome tracks. Right, he's got the most awesome tracks in the world. Onboarding customers, credit checks. This guy's got like a track for everything. It completely automates all of his processes, okay? And I saw him deliver his presentation on what he's done in ConnectWise, and I went, damn, if we could just make it so that Rich could share that, that would be awesome. 2010, he gets to hit a button. Would you please share, would you be willing to share your tracks? All right, good. So when 2010 comes out, you'll hit a button and push them up there. All right. And we're going to let you know what? You're going to get street cred for it. We're going to, show how popular it is. People will rate it, So it's like, this is how you can become famous. I mean, not only are you helping the community, but you can become famous. We're going to give out ConnectWise credits for this, okay? That you can redeem for stuff. We're going to figure out how to make this thing something that you guys go, wow, I mean, it's worth doing this, okay? So if we could get Rich to share his tracks, Alan to share his configurations, and I'm just using them as an example, okay? All of you have some good stuff that you do. What about, email templates? I don't know how many times people said, God, I wish I could just share email templates. Like, hit a button. It pushes it up to the university. On the university, can pull it down. So anyone that's got good stuff, throw it up there, and everybody's sharing it with the community now, okay? Project templates. Service templates. Reports. Yes, reports are going completely modular, okay? Surveys. How many of y'all using surveys? How do you measure the effectiveness of your help desk if you're not surveying your clients when you close tickets? Okay, but you know what? The answer is, yeah, but I've never had a chance to look at that. But if you knew you could go up to ConnectWise University and download some tasty surveys that other people have already perfected, you'd go and do that. I know you would. And then you'd be using surveys. So we figured out why you don't, okay? And instead of me getting up here and complaining and saying, how come you're not, how come you're not, I'm going, you know what, this is all on us. We got to make it so there has to be a way we can change human behavior, make it simple enough, few enough clicks so people will do what they need to do with their business, okay? Tracks, views, if anyone's used our views, right? We can do views. And I think this is probably the best of all, workflow rules. Sharing workflow rules, okay? So if you think about it, this is the way we can do it. We've added extensive APIs. We've got some new APIs now. We have an opportunity API. So it's like you want to talk about connecting everything. We look at ConnectWise as your business operating system. So if we have a rich set of APIs that a big vendor community and third-party development community can leverage, you know, they'll build that operating system bigger and bigger and bigger and all the specialization that we need. So we've added an opportunity API, okay? Where you can actually manipulate opportunities in ConnectWise. We've added a invoicing API because everyone says, oh, I want the detailed information in my invoice. Like, you can use the invoice API to do that now. We've extended the managed service API. It's awesome now. This all comes out in 2010. And we have a product API. So we have, and all the others that we've had. So companies, contacts, activities, opportunities, products, tickets. You know, if you think about what Salesforce has done is they've opened up their whole stack of APIs to the outside world. And that's really what Apple did with the iPhone. They opened up a big stack to create a rich development community around the product, and that's what we've done, okay? And you're going to see, you'll see that vendor hall keeps growing and growing and growing. These are people that are using those APIs and integrating to ConnectWise. Let's talk about blueprints, because I'm going to run out of time, unfortunately. Blueprints absolutely are something that will transform your business. That's another thing we've done. So we've said, you know what, we've talked about blueprints for I don't know how long, but the reality is now we're delivered. They're delivered. They're up on ConnectWise University, okay? If you see Jenny or Craig, they're the crazy ConnectWise people walking around with hard hats and tool belts. They are the authors of the blueprints. You can go talk to them about blueprints. But the reality is blueprints is, instead of us saying, this is how, or verbally giving you, this is how you should run your business, we're saying, no, we've diagrammed it. This is how we see best practice. This is how you should run on-site tickets, okay? And it talks about interaction with your customer, interaction with your employees, and then, yes, interaction with your systems, ConnectWise. So it's not just the things you do in ConnectWise, it's how the whole thing fits together. It's the people, it's the client, it's the system, and it's the things you do to have an organized process. That's what we've blueprinted. And I want to say, how many blueprints? Where's Jenny or Craig? How many blueprints do we have now? 40. You only have 40? I think he said 40 that are totally QA'd and out there, but he's got how many more working on? Anyway, the point is this is something we're never done with. This is something that's a full-time job. I mean, we'll continue to blueprint, we'll continue to innovate, we'll get feedback from you. But the idea on the blueprints is, if you haven't gone out to the university and seen this, this is like really powerful stuff. Take advantage of this, okay? Who was here for Michael Gerber a couple years ago at the Partner Summit? Awesome stuff. And by the way, on Channel 15, his keynote speech from a couple years ago is on Channel 15. So there's different stuff. Channel 15, the content changes every day. So there's going to be some new stuff every day. So I don't know what day it's there, Michael Gerber's speech. Michael Gerber talked about functionally, basically looking at your business as an organizational chart. And even though you might be a 2 or 3 person company, literally you have to put, imagine everyone look at this screen and say, I have to put a person's name on every square here. Now I might be a 1 person company, so guess what? I'm writing my name on every square. But this is a completely functionally decomposed, fully exploded org chart for a company in our industry. Okay? You may be the purchasing clerk. You may be the receiving clerk. You may be the purchasing manager. You may have to put your name on all of those. You may also be the field manager, the project manager, the system engineer. A lot of us have to put multiple names on there. But if you actually took this blueprint and you said, I'm going to write somebody's name on each one of these, we've now made it so that you could say, okay, so now you know the different, how all the roles in your company. So now what you got to do is you simply have to If you right-clicked on any of those, you'd actually see, for instance, maybe I right-clicked on Sales Manager, you'd actually see all of the blueprints that they would need to know. So literally, we're putting it just a click away. We're making this, it's all online, it's all 24/7, it's all real-time, right-click, and you should make sure that the person that's in that square knows the blueprints that are associated with it. And when you click on a blueprint, it will bring up the blueprint. And what we've done with the blueprints, for anyone that's done a lot of blueprinting work, it can get very boring. We're trying to keep them high enough level. When you click on the blueprint, it will a box on the blueprint, it will explain itself with a video that will pop up out on the internet, okay? So instead of you having to go, what does this square mean? Anyone done blueprinting, you know what I'm talking about. Well, I can't remember what that square means. We're going to pop it up, we're going to explain it to you, audio, visual, tell you what we mean by that square. So there's no reason. This is like blueprinting simplified so that you can easily digest it and have your people really understand it. Okay, so blueprinting. It's a good thing. ConnectWise University massively expanded. We're working all the time to make it better and better for you. Check out the university. I'm going to show you how you guys say it. So we did a little thing with you guys where we're going to call it Partner Survey Says. We surveyed you, and I really appreciate all the people that participated in that survey. We're kind of hoping when we did the survey that we would find out that you guys really were our BFFs and loved everything that we did, but we knew that really wasn't going to be the case. Okay. So what we're here today to do is to make sure that we understand, and we're going to show you some of the results. This is kind of interesting stuff here if you look at it. Revenue breakdown. Partner survey says, this is just your revenue breakdown. If you look at this, this is a composite of all ConnectWise partners. 38% say that 38% of you have the majority of your business in managed services. 24% of you in break fix. But if you just kind of look at this, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? You know, this is the ConnectWise partner mix. This is what you say you are, okay? Number of employees. It's kind of interesting. Take a look at it, okay? 33% of you have 1 to 5 employees, 6 to 10. 6% of you have 6 to 10 employees. Just interesting information. So if you think about it, we start surveying and gathering this information, feeding it back to you. I mean, how are you not the biggest service organization in the world with all the information at your fingertips? This was interesting. Anticipated revenue growth. You guys said 32% of you said you expect hyper growth, meaning greater than 15% in the next 12 months. I thought that was pretty good. Kind of says that we're a little bit recession-proof, doesn't it? I thought this was interesting. Years in business. Almost 50% of you are in business greater than 10 years. I thought that was pretty impressive as well. I think that says that the ConnectWise partner base is probably a very, very mature partner base. This is how you rated us, okay, on product average ratings, okay? And we pay real strong attention. So in functionality features that support your business, you guys gave us an 8 out of 10. We thought that was pretty good. We want to see it better, okay? Ease of use, 7.2. Probably need to do something about that. Reliability, 7.4. Probably not happy with that. I mean, I was never happy in college with anything but a B+. So that would mean I'm not going to be happy with probably any of these rates. And then quality of new release, 7.1. Not bad, but not good enough for us. So I just want to let you know, we don't think those scores are good enough. So this is the way you're going to tell us, and we're going to respond, and we're going to make it better. Not bad, but it could be better. Partner support, average rating, okay? Those of you that say we have bad support, it's like we wanted to know. We want to know if we have good support or bad support. We gave us a 6.7 on responsiveness. That's not so good. Accuracy of response, 7.3. It's getting better. Clarity of response, 7.4. Not bad. Out of a scale of 10. Professionalism, 8.4. We're happy about that. We've massively expanded our support team. Lots of training. And then friendliness of our support team, 8.6. So now we're getting into some marks that I can live with, right? When you're talking 8.4, 8.6. So we're gonna do better for you there. ConnectWise University, the breadth of content, 7.8. Usefulness of content, 7.6. And I'll just kind of zip through these real quick. We know the navigation is improved. We're actually redoing ConnectWise University to bring all the information to you. Okay, so literally, it will be completely redone. Average user group rating. This is really interesting. ConnectWise training at the user groups, 8.0. 8 out of 10. That's pretty good. Open discussion. How were we rated at the user groups? 8.3. That's really good. Social event. Well, that's important to me. So 8.3. That's good. Interaction with other partners, 8.5. Okay? This is what you guys really like. You really like the user groups. So if you haven't been to a user group, look at how the people that have been to the user group rate the user group. They like the user group. User groups are very important. We also did an employee survey. We think it's important for us to understand how our employees and folks at ConnectWise look at their work. And by the way, I mean, I took 20% of ConnectWise and I put it in a pool of stock for employees. Virtually every employee is a partner, is an owner. We're 100% employee owned. We have no debt. And we have no venture capital financing. So we are perfectly situated as a rocket ship to take off and do things for you guys. Was that Charlie Brown's teacher back there? Okay. I don't know what that was. 87% of our employees say that they understand how their work contributes to the success of partners. It's important for us to have the proper context. They are totally there for you. They need to understand that. They do understand that, and that's great. So we've done a good job there. Okay? This is what you guys want to talk about? Roadmap. Let's talk about the roadmap. Okay? Lots of cool things on the roadmap. That's not an error message. That's a security warning message. Okay, 8.1 is out. It's not out to everybody yet, but it's virtually out. A lot of good things. I want to talk about what's in the next release a little bit. Okay? Sort of talk about what I think, maybe highlight the things that we think. 2010, I want to talk about this. What we're doing here is we're changing our release structure to accommodate you. We heard loud and clear. What you want is you want us to put out very solid releases. We got that, okay? Was that the applause for 8.1? No? All right, so we understand you need some, we totally understand. Believe me, I'm alpha. I mean, you think you got it bad. It's like if you're unhappy, realize I went through worse, but that's not good enough. We got to have very solid releases. We're getting better at that. We made massive investments in QA. You're going to slowly see that. You're seeing that. Those of you that are really paying attention, you're seeing that we're getting better at solid releases. We're not all the way there because we haven't gotten the benefit of our investment that we made about 1.5 years ago, but we're getting close. We're starting to see the investments of that paying off, okay? We're going to go to one major release a year with service packs. The next release, which will come out in December, I know, you're going, gosh, we just got 8.1 out. It's like, yeah, but this release comes out in December. It's going to be the 2010 release. That is going to be another major release, but then after that, it'll be service pack releases, okay? In other words, quicker updates, quicker additions of functionality, but in much easier bite-sized chunks that are explained to you to say, this is what's changed and this is how you would implement this in your business, okay? So we're really looking at it from your perspective on that. So I want to just point out that our next version will be called 2010, comes out in December. Yes, we have to get it out before 2010. I'm not going to be one of those companies that has 2010 come out in 2012. Okay? Promise you. Okay, so here's the stuff. This is the stuff that you've been waiting for, okay? What we've done in 2010 release, which will be out in December, is we streamlined the user interface in many, many ways. You now will be able to take your favorites and rearrange them however you want up there, okay? You now will be able to take tabs up top. You ask for it, you got it. It's like, I would like to preset those, please, so that when I bring up ConnectWise, these tabs already come up and the screens are loaded. I told everyone, I said, when I'm talking about the IT nation and everything else, it's going to be like, yeah, that's really cool, Arnie. Where are the enhancements? Reports are overhauled. We've changed the entire architecture. And I want to thank Custom Connect is the company that we've actually outsourced that to. We don't have to do everything. So we've outsourced all of our reporting to Custom Connect. They are a vendor in the hall. Go talk to them. If you want any custom reports, go talk to them. Okay? Because they're the ones that are redoing every one of our reports. And they're also, you know, every one of our reports. If you have an awesome report that you've created, you'll be able to hit a button in 2010 and push it up to share it with others. Okay? So reports are completely now an object in ConnectWise, all right? And the reports are going to look a lot better. And what's cool about it is that we're going to have this section called report calculations. So in other words, on the report, you'll be able to click a button and it'll show you how everything is calculated on it, okay? It'll also show you the definition of every field, okay? So you can it will be self-documenting itself, okay? We're also, this is really cool, I'm excited about this, we're also going to give you the ability to schedule every single report to go to you. Be able to go to you as an email, HTML, PDF, you can send it to your clients, right? So anyone that's doing like downstream IT, imagine if Monday morning you're able to just already have it set up in the system so that they get the timesheets automatically sent to the clients that you're doing downstream IT to, right? So now you're providing them the tool to manage their IT infrastructure, their IT department, and you're automatically giving them reports, and there's no human intervention on that. That's pretty cool. So that would be kind of the concept there. So scheduling reports, lots of report formats, absolutely will change the way that we do reports. Okay, everything is moving into Microsoft reporting services, and the only reason you haven't seen the first set of them is we are getting ready to flip the switch, and all your reports will break if you haven't been doing what we've said for the last 6 months of making sure you had reporting services on your machine. So we've given you about 6 months grace, and I'm just warning you, we're going to flip the switch now because we got to get to these. All of these are redone at this point. Dispatch portal in Overdrive. We've added some really cool features to the dispatch portal. One of those features is you ask for this like a gazillion times. I want to have an icon on there that tells me whether it's remote, a job that they're supposed to do remote, on site, or at the office, okay? Dispatcher will be able to hover over any one of those tickets and get a pop-out with more information, okay, the full information. So it'll prevent dispatchers from having to click into that thing more often, okay? And this is something that when you click on any of those, it will bring up the main record, not the scheduling record. So those of you that are down to that level of detail, you'll go, oh, thank God, okay? So if you click on it, it will bring the ticket up. If you click on it's an activity, it will bring the activity up, okay? When you right-click, you'll be able to bring up the scheduling record and other things, okay? And again, you know, just user interface things, but I mean, you know, look at the icons. We got icons on there now. So we're going to try and start making things prettier, simpler, project template building blocks, okay? Imagine if you have a project, how many times have you had a project and you went, dang, I really got this awesome other template that I now want to add to this project, okay? You'll be able to do that. So if you've got other templates, you'll be able to just import other templates and it'll just append it to the bottom of that project plan, okay? So now you can actually build your project plans in a modular fashion and bring them in to projects. Better parsing. I don't know about you, but I mean, I always see these like extra things on the bottom of the emails that come in on tickets. I mean, I hate that, so we're getting rid of it. Lots and lots of marketing enhancements. I will not have time to go over all of them, but literally we are making it so that you can actually do Google AdWords campaign. Imagine you had a Google AdWords campaign, okay, and you had a landing page for that. We're going to be able to take you from that landing page all the way into ConnectWise with you getting a return on investment report where marketing will be a science rather than a guesstimate as to what your return on investment is, okay? So we're actually pulling all of marketing together, and this would be an example of a marketing campaign screen. You can see we're going to give you return on investment. We're going to tell you how many emails were sent on this campaign, how many activities were created, how many emails were opened, how many click-throughs on that email, okay, and how many opportunities were won. In other words, we'll give you the whole return on investment. All of this thing will be streamlined together for you, okay? invoices have more formatting options. Some people are going to be happy about that. So, especially international partners really needed certain things that you absolutely have to have in other countries. So I think a lot of this was done for them as well. We have ConnectWise running on iPhones. Oh yeah, I love this. It was so easy for me to dump my ConnectWise mobile or my Windows mobile phone for an iPhone. It was easy. Oh, the red light where it's going up means I'm over by 5 minutes. I'm moving. So just to give you a couple examples of screens here. Really cool stuff. Timesheets are on there. Everything that you had on the other one. Not everything yet. We actually have it in alpha. Actually, and if you go to any ConnectWise employee or go to the Genius Lab, we got tons of ConnectWise employees that are running the app now and will hand you their phone and let you play with it. Okay? So check it out if you're interested. All right? And then, last but not least, some show specials. If you do not have ConnectWise Managed Service Platform, you can save $500 on that. Take advantage of it. Go to the Genius Lab. If you are interested in ConnectWise Distribution Module, you can save $700 on that. Thank you all very much. Enjoy your time here. We're going to show you a good time. It's going to be fun tonight. The ConnectWise clubs will be a blast. And I appreciate your time here. Thanks for coming to Orlando.